Shaman deck, his Elysiana Shudderwock Shaman going up against a warrior, in this case, the Bomb Warrior from killinallday. Now, this is not going to reach the dizzying heights of turn 30 and beyond that we saw Frodan and Kibler keeping track of in the previous series, because this is not the Control Warrior from killinallday, this is the Bomb Warrior. He has finality. When he runs out of cards, he runs out of cards. He's got to giddy up and get going and get bombs in the deck and put Language Hacker under pressure and kill him. And this is the thing that people tell me Bomb Warrior can do, so I want to see it.
Well, I think we're about to. That's normally how time works and how games work in general. But for what I want to see here, it might sound a bit silly to mention, but the small point is Language Hacker really needs to keep track of exactly how many bombs are in the deck at all time, because in terms of, you can't play around like 3-4 bombs in a row that easily, right? Sometimes it happens based on what Killing wants to do.
Yes.
And he only really runs 2 Witch's Brew. So he needs to time those heals and heal to the correct amount.
Yes.
Because it doesn't always happen, but he might just die.
And you also, in the late game, have to keep that in track as well as to when you want to throw out your Elysiana. Exactly. Because eventually you're going to hit a critical mass where there's potentially more bombs left in your deck than actual cards. And if you really want to dig down into it and get that perfectly right, it's a constant statistical calculation of feeling where you think your win rate in the matchup is, based on what your percentage chance of dying off the next draw or chain of draws of bombs is, counteracting those against each other and finding the correct turn to Elysiana. I would be amazed if more than 1 or 2 players would do that consistently in this matchup after an hour of playing it already. But Language Hacker is one of the most, analysis-driven players that I've seen. Might honestly be on that level.
Yeah, to be honest, I picked Language Hacker during his win at Champs. I predicted him to do well, and he won. And it was purely based on after we spoken to him in his interview. Because I heard him talk about the game and about himself. I was like, this guy is very smart. He knows what he's talking about, and he seems cool, calm, and collected. And I think we've seen some of that from him in this tournament as well. So I'm looking forward to see what happens. But as this game has progressed, Language Hacker's turned a Control Shaman into a beatdown deck somehow. I'm not sure how, but what's been going on?
He's also played a 3-mana Gadgetzan Auctioneer, which...
pretty good card.
With Stealth. It's a 3-mana Gadgetzan Conceal for 1 card.
It's a pretty good card.
Yeah. Obviously, there are caveats to that. But in the world of hyperbole, it stands untested.
I think you mean Hyperbole.
Hyperbole, yes. Today, these 2 players will compete at the Hyperbole.
I mean, that just sounds cooler.
It does, yeah.
Just like Tortoise.
But this, yeah, it's insane. Obviously, there are deck-building sacrifices that you have to make in order to make Spirit of the Frog consistent. But the sacrifices are not that great. When you, I have to play Haunting Visions in my deck, so I have a 3-mana spell that I can draw into. Okay, sign me up.
Yeah, funnily enough, he actually doesn't play Farsight in this deck. So a very common combo is, if you have them both in hand, obviously it's Haunting Visions to discover whatever spell you may need, and then it reduces Farsight to 0, which then draws a card, which then reduces that by 3, so and you can actually get a bit silly.
Yeah, you play Haunting Visions. Haunting Visions draws your Hex from casting the 3-mana spell. You pick a cheap spell off the Haunting Visions, which costs 0. You then play that, and that starts your chain all the way back through of 1, 2, 3 again. It's nuts.
Mossy Horrors. Cards that have been teched across the board, more or less, in Language Hacker's lineup. 2 in this Shaman deck particular, all targeting Token Druid, where Language Hacker, bit of a swing and a miss in that one, but might have some nice splash versus Zoo. But in this matchup, Sol, okay, he's going to wreck an Ironbeak Owl.
Sure is. Kills a Militia Commander when it's on cooldown.
Side note as well, there are cards such as Mutate, which can evolve a 6-drop like Mossy Horror that might stick around to a 7-drop. So
not in the deck though, right? Just Hacker for
no,
business.
Yeah.
I was going to say, I misread something if he's playing Mutate in his deck.
Yep. Also, Elysiana discovers, so on, so on. All I'm saying is we're in a very discover and created by meta. As we've seen so far in this tournament, wacky things can happen.
Yes.
And I think, honestly, the players who have mastery of these nutty situations are the players that are going to end up doing the best. There's Elysiana, locked, loaded, and ready to go for about 20 more turns from now.
Yeah. Yeah, there is, created by situations are much maligned, and rightly so in some cases. But to deny that there is a skill edge to be found in mastering random elements of the game is kind of futile, because we've seen it time after time again. I will always remember Purple at a championship event turning a random outcome from Lich King, where he rolled anti-magic shell, into a game-winning scenario where 99% of players would have looked at that game and thought it was unwinnable. And he took a random out that he got and then used it to leverage himself into a skill edge position, because he knew exactly what to do with the situation and the card that he was given. When that gets more ridiculous than just Lich King delivering you a card from a pool of cards, when it suddenly becomes when it suddenly becomes a full, game-wide created by scenario, the reason why it feels truly random and like, oh, I couldn't have done anything, is because it's beyond our bounds as humans to calculate all the possible permutations. But it doesn't mean that you can't get closer than your opponent and still find an edge.
And here, bit of a slower turn there from Language Hacker now, to be expected, and Killing. No wonder he likes Warrior. There's Dr. Boom ready for turn 7 for the second game in a row. Wasn't enough last game, but this is definitely a very, very different matchup. So Dr. Boom can start getting cooking as quickly as possible. I don't see any real reason why it would be delayed in any way.
It's almost the same hand. Militia Commander was there, Iron Beak Owl was there, Shield Slam was there when Dr. Boom was drawn.
One shield block away from if the Omega Assembly was a shield block.
Omega Assembly was a shield block, and I can't quite remember what the second Shield Slam was, but he's right in the neighborhood of the exact hand he had last time around. Wrench Caliber, maybe, was played?
Yeah. Cool. Okay.
Well, the value engines are online. Boom on 7, Hagatha on 8.
It's very funny to me that two different classes can create two extremely similar decks with a lot of class cards.
Yeah, I mean...
Do you not think? Like, yes, there's Elysiana, sure,
right.
Like, everyone can play that. But look at Hagatha, Dr. Boom. Look at all the removal tools versus the mirrored removal tools. The card draws mirrored, and so on, so on. It's kind of weird, isn't it?
And who would have thought that the two only successful control decks that have been found so far are in the two classes that have, or two of the three classes, I should say, that have the legacy hero cards left over to them?
I'm shocked.
What a weird coincidence that is.
It's my shocked voice.
Yeah.
If only Rexar and Zul'jin were switched. Which means all three decks can just go on forever yet again.
I mean, I never want to play the version of Hearthstone that's designed by you and other Hunter players.
I never said it was a good idea. I'm just saying, what if?
Many things you have pitched as good ideas are also the stuff of nightmares.
Can't prove it.
Okay.
Again, Killing can pick off this totem now, but okay, at this point, is there any merit to, and not the totem, sorry, I mean the Spirit of the Frog. Is there any point to not killing it off?
I think Language Hacker has actually been a little caught up over the past few turns. He had a really juicy lightning bolt there, for example, to take care of that 2/4 and chose not to use it. Primarily more for overload reasons, I would imagine, because he wants to coin the Hagatha. But there is a point where even with the potential Elysiana going back in, you don't want to turbo through your deck too fast. But I don't think that's necessarily the case because of straight up fatigue against Bomb Warrior, because they're just playing 0 Elysianas, right? Like you are not going to be fatigued by this deck at any point. But I think drawing cards at certain times does have implications of when there are and are not bombs in your deck. As to one of the things that Language Hacker potentially feels like he can lose to is actually the Dr. Boom being played with a lot of boom bots, clearing out his final board when there are bombs in the deck. So he may want to time his card draw to either be drawing cards when there are or are not bombs in the deck, just depending on what the game state situation is.
Exactly, and if he draws heavily now, yes, he's fine, he's got Elysiana, whatever, but if he draws heavily, then Killing could shuffle, 6 bombs maybe into the deck, and then you can't play Elysiana to wipe them if you draw them and die that turn.
He preloads a Wrench Caliber and then just goes Elic, 3-drop, 3-drop, and suddenly there's 6 bombs in your deck and you've pulled yourself down to 3 cards.
I know as well is there is no weapon removal in the Shaman deck, so he can just sit with a Wrench Caliber till he draws double Elic and a Goblin as well, and just go really crazy. Now, hand's getting a little bit clogged up. Because the problem is Spirit of the Frog swaps itself for a spell, but then also continues to draw cards, which with his hand so full and Hagatha down as well, it's not the best draw. I think he would have preferred that to be at the bottom of the deck, to be honest, at this point.
Yeah.
Path dimly lit.
There's another nice freedom that Language Hacker does have in this matchup, though, that he didn't have last time around, where I don't believe Killin is playing Hecklebots either. No, he's not. So I think we saw several times Language Hacker just assume the clenched position once or twice when Hecklebot was dropped onto the board and he still had his Shudderwock remaining in the deck. Or no, his Elysiana was the one remaining in the deck, I think.
Haunting Visions again. Now, this is the point, right? So, discover a spell created by whatever. This is a tough pick right now because he's got so many cards.
Yeah.
He's got to be mindful of what he actually wants. He's got to be mindful of Overload from a Feral Spirit. Haunted Visions continues to give him more cards. Then he's got to be mindful of how many cards he's even got left in the deck and what he even wants to do with this discovered card.
I was going to say, most importantly, he needs to play a spell this turn that does not draw him a card, which in that case was playing a 0-mana spell since he's out of 1 cost to draw, because otherwise he was just sitting on a full hand size and then has the 1 in 13 currently, or 1 in 12 it would be if it drew, to burn his Shudderwock off the top.
Okay, there's Omega Assembly. I do...
There's 2 mechs that die to a Mossy Horror as well.
Yeah. Just love there's a 0-3 stealth on the board versus a 1-4 mech that has a a catapult effect basically. It's just weird Hearthstone, so we've got to a weird place. But suddenly now this hand's going to start getting a little bit weird. Triple Lightning Storm.
Triple Storm, Triple Brew.
Yeah, I was going to say, I think he just dumps them. Or at least 2 of them.
Agreed.
Because take the Overload, you're hardly under threat of death right now. There isn't a Wrench Caliber equipped, so there's no shenanigans going to happen quite yet. So I think you need to get rid of something.
So he'll Haunting Visions now, and then probably play Storm number 2, which now draws nothing and creates the gap in his hand that he needs to continue. This is going to be Language Hacker's pattern for the next couple of turns, I imagine, just making hand space to make sure he can continue to draw cards.
I'm wondering if he's going to... Like, what is the optimal outcome as a discovered Shaman spell? Is it Stormbringer in this matchup?
Eureka with this hand would be extremely powerful.
With the Walking Fountain.
I mean, even with Elysiana, just 3/7/7 on the board is the business.
I guess. Okay, I'm going to ask you a weird question, Sol. We've hit that point in the match.
Go on.
If Killin never plays a card for the rest of the game, or at least a minion, does the game get very strange with the sheer hand size of Language?
I don't think so. Not just yet.
Because there's no good targets to Hex, for example.
Right.
He just doesn't play any. He has to Hex his own minions.
Right.
He'll play Elysiana, but then almost have to keep playing stuff to keep drawing the cards, for example. I don't know. It's just a weird... Games like this can go a bit funky. I'm just trying to think outside the box.
Yeah. The problem is, Killin can't really just wait around forever. He can set himself up. He's looking for like that little 1-turn window where he can put massive amounts of damage into the deck with a 1-turn bomb swing before Language Hacker can play the Elysiana in response. But he has to chip away a little bit of damage to even make that threat before he can get there.
I was going deeper. I was thinking, wait till he plays Elysiana. He's going to hit Fatigue first by a margin.
Sure.
Wait till he plays Elysiana, run him out of those cards too, and then bomb him. Or bomb him halfway through Elysiana or something.
Sure.
Because there's no bounce for Elysiana. He can't keep doing it.
There's the Shudderwock, though.
Oh, there is the Shudderwock. You know what? Because it's not been drawn for so long, I half forgot about it. Yep. Okay, so you can do it twice.
Yep.
Okay. Like I said, I'm on the outside of the box train here. In this cast, I'm going to be completely honest. It's a slow game, though. I think it's
living on the fringes of society.
Well, I think
my ideas were just too out there.
One day, everyone will be like, "Wow, Raven was actually right about a lot of things." It's just we just believed Sol that time.
You had one earlier backstage. Everyone was like, "Yeah, that was really smart." I don't remember it. It was so traumatizing to me that I've just repressed
already
it.
Blocked it out.
Immediately, just gone from my mind.
It's not going to trade, right?
Nope.
I like it. I like it less.
Interesting.
I guess as he got to the point where he's just thought he's probably just drawn them all anyway, so it actually just does nothing, takes up a board space.
I mean, he clearly wants it there taking up a board space, or else he would just rush the pinata into it.
Yeah, completely free. Would lose nothing except, I don't know, like energy as the mouse click required to aim at it. See what this Lightning Storm does though. Guaranteed place one way or another because of these little tokens that are going to spawn.
And just in case there is a mountain of order lulls in Twitch chat right now, that's a Shivala.
Okay, okay.
We'll come back to that in a second, but just in case there is a mountain of order lulls in Twitch chat right now, he played the minion with a full hand and therefore did not get the generated spell, but that's because he wants to leave a space in his hand at the end of the turn, because again, he needs to draw that Shudderwock and not burn it off the top of the deck. That was very deliberate.
Killing probably really wants to draw a Wrench Caliber soon. Or sooner rather than later, I guess. Oh, nice draw, though. The Militia Commander #2 is going to be used to just clear off this Thunderhead. And I think that's all Killy wants to do now. He's not letting silly things happen because, as far as he's aware, there could be some funky cards in Language Hacker's hand. And if he lets a Thunderhead just sit on the board and then Bloodlust even chips half his health, well, that's a big deal because Killian isn't going to fatigue in this game.
Right. Language Hacker is continuing to have to just throw away cards from his hand. It looks like, okay, Ancestral Spirit is nice, but maybe he's better off still throwing away a Witch's Brew here since he has so many of them. No, he's going to use the Ancestral Spirit. Interesting.
4 Witch's Brews.
Yeah, I feel like with so many Witch's Brews available, he could have just thrown one away there and used the Ancestral Spirit on a higher value target than the Ziliax.
20 Witch's Brews he has in hand?
Yeah.
He's cheating the game.
Yeah. He can heal for 80.
Take that, fatigue. Wait, will he die before he gets to that point? Do the maths.
What?
Will he get to the point where his fatigue hits so high that he can't heal?
Well, he can heal to... Okay,
there you go.
Okay.
Got him, okay.
Leave it with me.
Okay, so I was going to start scribbling down, and I'm going to talk about this Ziliax. Just getting in the way more than anything, and like I said, just Language Hacker clearly wants to keep control and keep hold of all of this healing. So he chose to have the Ziliax twice and just reduce down some damage he's going to take from this board, as you always are susceptible to some rush minions. But now that Darius Crowley is just a reasonable question mark for Language Hacker, he does probably want to remove it.
He would hit the time limit before that happened with Elysiana, Shudderwock, and all those Witches Brews, I believe.
Oh, so it actually hit turn.
I believe so, yeah.
Okay.
Very quick calculation.
So the backup plan's there.
Yeah, I mean, that's nonsense. That's not where this... Before anyone in chat watching, this is nonsense. This is not where this game's going.
Shield Slurper. It's going to be able to generate a Lackey and a spell. So it's kind of a Lackey in itself at this point. And he has 1 extra attack.
A path dimly lit.
But now the game's starting to get funky, isn't it? Because there is the Shudderwock that Language Hacker's so clearly waiting for.
Yep.
Oh, there's Wrench Caliber, though.
And now the combo is piecing together for Killen. Wrench Caliber up 1 turn, and he at least has Elix, Euphorium Bomber, and Swing on the next. But is he waiting for double?
Yeah, the double
Clockwork Goblin. It could be a long way away here, though.
Do you believe that you've got the time, though? I feel like you do. How does this Shaman really press you at this point?
Well, so the problem is by the time he gets double Clockwork Goblin, Language might have been out of cards and then back full of cards again, and then you're waiting all over again.
Guess. So what? So right off, next turn, he can shuffle 4 bombs in, 20 damage, 3 damage from the Wrench Caliber?
Yeah. Jeez, this Shudderwock is buried for Language Hacker. And this is the big X factor that I guess we haven't really covered here, is that Language Hacker's response, as soon as killinallday goes for this big bomb push, that bomb push has to kill him immediately in 1 turn, or at least put so much damage on him that he's pressured to die the next turn. Because his response to that will then be to play Elysiana to transform all the bombs into different cards in his deck. He can't do that safely if his Shudderwock has not yet been drawn, because he can still then lose the game on fatigue because his Spirit of the Frog has ended up drawing so many cards. A Spirit of the Frog, by the way, that killinallday has been pretty careful not to kill throughout the game, so that Language Hacker has found himself in this scenario.
He waited till very, very late to just silence, then pass on it. And he could have killed it off or silenced it from early. I think that Ironbeak Owl was in hand for what, all
I've
game?
just pieced it back together. The turn where he didn't kill it, it's because he wanted to play 2 cards so that he wasn't going to fill up on resources in hand. And so the owl has to silence something, right? And he's not going to silence his own pinata, so he just silences the thing instead. That's what happened.
Okay.
Hey!
There's the shoulda walk. Okay. So now Language Hacker has pretty much every stage of his plan.
Yep.
But there is still the question, isn't there? Because if there's the Elic and double Goblin with the weapon swing, I believe that's 6, which is 30 if consecutively drawn.
Yep.
Which means this is where it gets tricky, to be completely honest. It's a bit of a tough choice. Every card now, for the next, what, 4 turns, roughly, is going to be... Language Hacker is going to be deep thought as to when this Elysiana can come down. Because he doesn't have armor, so he is just dead to those bombs if they chain. And Killing, at least Language Hacker has to consider it's likely that Killing has most of that combo. The Wrench Caliber's there. Killing's freely played a C4ian Bomber. Which,
yeah, I mean, his language sitting there thinking, well, I mean, obviously double Clockwork Gnome and Augmented Elic are in Killin's bottom 8. Like, obviously. No, of course.
Yeah,
Like,
exactly.
Killin's odds on to have multiples of those cards in his draw so far.
Oh, okay.
It might be closer to 50-50.
Zilliax?
I'm sure Neil will tweet me sometime soon.
Well, remember, though, there is some discovers, too, and you can discover Clockwork Goblin.
Yep.
Which is it's a class card as well, so it is
weighted.
Like weighted towards the
Yep.
discover, similar to or exactly the same, should I say, as Omega Devastator.
And if it's exactly the same as Omega Devastator, it comes up every time.
Yes, it's literally just those 2 cards. It doesn't even show you a third.
Yeah. Boom!
Okay.
That's actually good news. Drawing a bomb is good for Language Hacker here because he can now tank that damage and restore it with these surplus of walking fountains and witch's brews that he has.
He is going to Witch's Brew as well, right? Because
Yes.
he doesn't actually gain the first 4 heal.
Almost certainly yes.
Because now the hit plus 5 bombs does the job.
I imagine you witch's brew here for 4.
But then he's used another one. Now he's only down to 40
He's
possible
used
healing.
20 healing for 4, yes.
Whew. It's inefficient.
But he has also only used 10 mana as opposed to if he wants to heal for 20, it's going to cost him the full 10, which Killen's job is to make sure there's enough pressure on that him healing for 10 is him spending 10 mana on healing is not a viable prospect for him.
I think this is what Killen's thinking about.
Wow,
He passes.
okay.
He passes.
So this way, by leaving his hand full, he's preventing Killen from doing the turn this turn anyway, because his hand is full and therefore the bombs won't be able to be pushed through.
And because he has the Shudder Walk, he can burn a card. Honestly, I do not know what those 3 cards are. This game's had so many generated cards since the early Hagatha, I'm kind of lost.
Yeah.
But they are not Shudder Walk, and that's all you really need to know right now.
Right.
And they are not important to Language Hacker because he's happy with burning 1.
We have to ask the question now, is Language just going to sit with a full hand for the foreseeable future?
This would be a good
Because the
time
longer
for
he
a best
waits
of
to
play.
leave that gap in his hand, the better it gets for Killinallday to activate his combo. So is he just going to sit there until his Elysiana turn with a full hand?
Well, even his Elysiana turn will keep a full hand, right? So it'll give him a spell.
Yeah. Killen not incredibly invested in that outcome. Again, it's just keeping a space in his hand for him to be able to continue to draw cards that he wants from the rest of the deck. Namely that Clockwork Goblin.
Lickham.
Lickham goes down, no big deal.
It's interesting though, isn't it? Because when you're against 10 cards that could just be anything, maybe you're fearful that you might need a brawl, but there are double shield slams. There's, you know, one more brawl, of course, Omega Devastator, and the Omega Assembly, plus everything else. Killen's probably confident he can deal with most things that are going to come out from this Elysiana. It's more about time than it is about actual impact of the cards.
Agreed. So this turn will be the biggest indicator of what Language Hacker's long-term game plan is. If he does nothing, or if he just plays one of the minions that will replace itself with a spell and just leaves it at that with 10 cards, it seems like he is going to try and lock killinallday out of being able to activate the bomb combo on him, and that is exactly what he's going to do. So we have reached a stalemate position here. killinallday has to find some way of generating pressure, which makes Language Hacker play cards as removal to then create space in his hand so that he can draw the bombs that killinallday wants to shuffle in. That's where we're at.
Unity. Precision.
Well, that's his option. I was looking at whether he, it's difficult with fatigue, of course, but whether he plays a shield block to reduce his Shivala down to a playable state. Because a 7/5 Divine Shield and it heals is a relevant threat to Language Hacker. But Language Hacker's hovering Elysiana now, and he might be saying go. Here we go.
Ooh. Sign me up, Omega Defender.
Looks like an Earth Elemental to me.
Could be Witch's Apprentice. Very high value card, actually, when you break it down in Hagatha form.
Does spells win him the game?
Sometimes.
Safe answer.
To 7/8s win him the game when your opponent hasn't used any of their removal yet.
Oh! Harrison, though.
Harrison is a spicy boy. It saves you a lot of damage on bombs.
Oh, he didn't go for it, though.
Did he take the Dalaran Mage?
Yep.
No one ever kills Dalaran Mage.
That is very true. Stormbringer, an option, but is he going to have enough minions? But with Dalaran Mage, maybe. Is that Arcane Watcher? Omega Mind, Lifesteal, Alex Straza has going to be a consideration, but took Omega Mind. Oh, putting the pressure on killinallday with the mutate into Nosdolmu.
Blitz mode!
And this is now Spicy Hearthstone. Oh wait, as always, Omega Devastator will probably ruin the fun.
Blitz mode over.
Disengage.
Yeah.
Okay. Run us through those choices, Sol, because I'll be honest, I'm no Control Shaman expert yet, but those are some weird choices.
So he has a Mega Defender, which is in itself an incredibly just high-value minion for where he is at the game. 10 mana crystals, they're all incredibly powerful. On top of which, you generally want to pick minions with Control Shaman because they just double up, right? Like, why pick a spell when you can pick a minion that also gives you a spell? It's just so much more value. These Omega Minds are potentially massively clutch because giving his spells lifesteal when he has a Hagatha scheme that's been in his hand for God knows how long at this point is going to be a Reno Jackson.
Can we get a damage check, please?
There you go, 10 damage. That's a Reno if it hits 3 minions, even if he's at 1. And then beyond that, the Dalaran Mage Arcane Watcher combo he's picked up, right? Spell damage plus Arcane Watcher.
The use of combo is quite loose.
But it's fine, because as soon as he plays a Dalaran Mage, the game
Mage.
is over, wasn't it?
No, it was the 1/4.
Is that not what that's called?
No, Dalaran Mage is the 2/5 that gives spell damage. That's just a 1/4 that's plus 1 spell damage.
What's the 1/4 called then?
Gnome Dalaran Mage.
Okay.
I think I might be going crazy now.
I think you are.
Wait, I'm going crazy or I'm right?
Going crazy.
Okay.
Don't mind if I do!
I got that reference! Okay, well, finally, the Clockwork Goblin shows up to the party.
Yep.
Killing's been waiting a long time for this, but there is still C4 in Bomber. There is still Clockwork Goblin, and I believe one more Clockwork Goblin left.
And there is still, crucially, Language Hacker engineering himself back to full hand again. Can't draw bombs if my hand's full.
Okay, then.
Yeah, just had confirmation. Ancient Mage is the name of the 2/5, and Dalaran Mage is the 1/4.
Yeah, but wasn't it a 1/4 he picked?
Yes. So it's the Dalaran Mage.
Right, okay.
Yeah. You have officially gone crazy.
I have gone crazy.
Yeah. Shield Slam. Boom. Take 25, idiot.
Sol, as ever, with his aggressive smack talk to no one in particular, because he's not actually playing the game.
You just got to throw it out there sometimes. It just makes you feel better, you know?
Take that, frog. Is that how you do it?
A little lackluster, I'm going to be honest. Needs work. Ooh, hang on, just a minute.
Sign up for a Bloodlust.
Feral Spirit being thrown out here is going to leave a space in hand.
He could play the Sludge Slipper as well, which fills the space up, doesn't it?
Oh, Lackey plus another spell. Yeah, true.
Didn't know.
All right, he's actually saying he wants to draw cards here.
Oh,
and the timing. The timing.
Okay.
The combo is complete.
I mean, you do it, right? Am I too wrong? It's as good as it's ever going to get.
It is. So, perfect world, Killing would do this in a scenario where the 3-4, the 3-3, and the 3-3 were representing huge board pressure as well, which in this case they're not, because Language Hacker actually has a decent board of his own, because they're not really worth anything if Language Hacker can just Shudder Walk afterwards and put himself back in a position where he's not being threatened to be killed the next turn. So I think Killinallday is going to try and build up a little bit of board pressure first and then go for that combination afterwards.
Yep. Definitely difficult though, because it takes some discipline, because what you've got to maybe push out your mind a little bit is Language Hacker might just be on 10 cards for the rest of the game then. So you don't ever get to use the bomb. So it's just a small mental block you have to get over to say, well, this is an opportunity. He's not letting me do this for so many turns. And then to still not do it because of those reasons you pointed out, is actually, pretty impressive, to be honest.
And that's, you talk about constant calculations. I talked about the constant calculation of how likely am I to die to the chain of bombs that are in the deck versus what's my win rate in the deck. There's another calculation that's extremely important to Language Hacker here at all times, which is, does the contents of my current hand fatigue the warrior from this position? Does it be every card that he has remaining plus, an average number of discovered mechs that he can pick up from the hero power? If the answer to that question is yes a lot of the time, then you could just sit and burn every remaining card in your deck.
I don't even know, Sol. That is hard from both players' sides. This is a hard game of Hearthstone. Apparently Witch's Brew number 1 million at this point is going to come out. Just get some tops up healing there. Language Hacker. Wait. He can't play Shudder Walk next turn.
No,
he's overloaded.
He's overloaded.
Whoa!
This has to be the Smell Blood turn now for Killinallday, does it not?
I mean, if I can see it, I'm pretty sure Killing at least is aware of the situation. And he has a second Wrench Caliber to reshuffle bombs post Shudder Walk, which isn't mind-blowing, but still. And there's already one bomb in the deck, right? Because of the C4 bomber.
C4 bomber, yep.
Whoa. I mean, I just really want Killing to do the turn, as you could probably tell, because I suggested it earlier when it was wrong. But still, this seems like a bit of a window. He has 2 goes at the bombs going off. We can see there's Witch's Cauldron for the heals. It's not Witch's Cauldron. Brew.
What are you talking about? Witch's Brew, yes.
Yeah, sorry.
Okay.
There is the heals available if the bombs aren't, chained hard enough. But still, he can still only go up to 30. And he's got another swing of Wrench Caliber the turn after on the empty Shudder Walk turn.
Doesn't take it.
Okay, I can't wait to talk to Killing much later on about this specific game. I guess he's asking him, well, now there's damage. There's 9 damage on board. There are 2 bombs in the deck.
Yep.
That's correct, isn't there? Or is there 3? Because he's lost the weapon.
2, I think. I think the first charge was used. No, you might be right. It might be 3.
Oh, wait, okay, 2 or 3, whatever. Basically, he's threatening a lot of damage, and he has Blastmaster Boom, so he can proc the boom box as well.
Yeah.
So he's actually, threatening lethal, depending on the bomb outcomes, of course. Oof. Also, side note, just so we're kept on top of things, Shivala, playable now, 10 mana.
Good. Yep, good note.
Just so we know. Nice big removal as well for example, this 5/6 on the board. Shivala can just kill it if it's ever deemed a problem.
Whoa.
So he wants to draw the spell damage into Bloodlust. Or, well, yeah, he has to, right? He's got no silence.
And what he wanted to do more than anything was fill his hand again.
Yep.
Because he was afraid. deeply afraid of the bad things Killinallday might do to him this turn.
Now he's only overloaded for 1.
This would be a good time.
But also, I'll half say it's made a couple of cards unplayable, or mainly just the Reign of Toads. And I say unplayable in a loose term, in just he can't follow up with Shudder Walk the turn after.
Yeah. But he also can't play them and keep his hand size at 10, which actually almost makes them unplayable in this situation as well.
You know what?
This would
That's
be a good
yeah.
time for
You
a
got.
master.
Oh yeah, because his lucky dude has been played, right?
Yeah.
Oh, another clock goblin.
Vicious Scrap Hound. There he is.
Yeah.
2/2 armor dog.
Mecha pup.
That's the one.
That sounds like a name for a great show.
That fuse thing.
Okay, so at this point, to be honest, if he plays one goblin, was he not just threatening enough to make a Shudderwalk happen? Is that four bombs?
He was threatening enough to at least make some healing happen, which then makes
sure.
Language Hacker spend a card, create space in his hand, yada, yada, yada.
I just wonder now. Again, I'd just love to know what Killen's thinking, but with the Alec, he is never going to just play 3 Clockwork Gnomes flat in the same turn, right?
No.
It's because of mana. So I think like he has one to drop freely. Maybe one into Boom to guarantee some Boom bots.
Sure.
Is it something you could be thinking about
Sure.
as well?
That's
Excuse
reasonable.
me. For a slow, drawn-out game, this is very exciting, which I feel like has been a theme of this tournament so far.
Bottom Warrior definitely makes life more interesting. That one I'm not going to argue with.
I must decide.
Okay, so there's another brew. We can see there's one more left in the tank.
Plus the Reno. The Omega Mind Hagatha's scheme.
Yep. Can play around that by not playing any more minions, though. Well, Fatigue's there for killing, so there has to be a plan soon. Because also, killing, I think, has to live in a world where these statues may get to attack. Because it is an absurd pick if Language Hacker has 0 ways for them to attack. Unless he's thinking as far ahead as, they're to soak the Boombot hits.
Yeah, I mean...
You know, like, yes, but...
Maybe if that was the only minion offered alongside 2 mediocre spells, I'd pick it. Maybe.
You've got to think a worst case, I think, in this point, though.
Yeah.
When you're this close to the game and it's really coming to the very end points, you got to think, what's the worst thing that could happen here? There's another bomb in the tank. Don't silence the statue. Whatever you do, kill him.
Yeah, again, similar to when the last owl was used, there's no real usage here of it except getting it out of his hand so that he can play more cards, fill up his hand again.
Uh-oh.
Dalaran Mage.
It's live.
3
Oh, he's gonna
mana,
do it.
1/4. Boom. Boom.
Dr. Dalaran. What a god. Is he gonna bust out a Shudder? What? Wait, you could get an Omega Mind.
Sure.
So he doesn't want the hand size.
He can't. He can't go back to 10 this turn, right? He wasn't at 10 last turn, so he just drew the minion and he played it. He was back where he was. He can't increase his
I
hand
just mean
size
it's
from
going to
this
make it
position.
more difficult for him to go back to 10 after, right?
Sure. Yeah.
Because he draws 1 card, if it's a minion, he plays it, and then gets 1 card still on 9.
Right, but that's kind of the status quo forever, right?
I guess, yeah. We could have held.
This would
Yeah,
be a
it
good
would take
time
quite
for
long,
a
wouldn't it?
master.
To just pass.
You
Yeah,
literally just have to like sit there and wait for your hand to fill up doing nothing.
Well, here comes the bots.
Yeah.
That is a very good hero power, actually, for that turn. Being able to just remove 4 damage,
Yep.
so the trades might work out a little bit
What?
better. That was.
Admirable lied to me. He told me no one ever killed Dalaran Mage.
Is a Boombot really a someone or something?
These questions are getting very existential, Raven.
Okay, there's 1. Okay, there's 2. Okay, it's still 2. And now, has these sort of... I was going to call them something then, but I won't. Have these few bombs... Is this pushing the scheme now because of Dr. Boom on the board? Blastmaster Boom, sorry, on the board?
Might well be, yeah. This could be the Reno turn.
Path
The Omega Mind scheme.
lit.
Because Because everything else, like you said, the damage back onto you if you just Witch's Brew all turn is too much, in my opinion.
Yep.
I think any damage feels too much, to be honest, for Witch's Brew.
Yep.
Here it is. Rock Biter weapon, pretty low value, just like those bombs. Nice total of 2 damage to the face.
I must decide.
And now, yet again, empty board. Time to develop pressure. Space in hand for Language Hacker to draw the bombs.
Is there 2 bombs left in the deck? Alham hands up, poor job of tracking. There's at least 1, right?
Killen still says no.
Well, okay. Does he think his health benefit means he can go to fatigue? But he won't. Doesn't matter. Does he want to force Shudder Walk and then do it?
Do it at the end of the second rep.
Well, not
he living
at
that
the
long?
end. I mean, once he plays Shudder Walk, it's done. He has 10 of his cards and then a million bombs.
Sure.
I'm just thinking, is
Sure.
that what he wants to do? Like, make him just play the Shudder Walk. You cannot wipe the bombs. You have to play Shudder Walk or you'll die. Go. Then he just has to wait because there's no wipe unless he discovers another Shudder Walk or an Elysiana.
Okay.
Maybe. I'm thinking of these strategies on the fly because this is Killin's surprising me in the way he's playing, but I confess I probably would have played this very badly. So.
But what happens if then Language Hacker plays his Shudder Walk, picks some cards, and then waits the 1 turn to fill up his hand again?
Dunno.
I must decide.
Like I said, I'm just trying to piece together some form of plan.
Yeah. Well, Language Hacker's burning a lot of cards here. I say burning a lot of cards. The exact opposite. He is leaving space in his hand so he doesn't burn cards.
This Dollar Mage is actually doing work. Because the Kaboom bot could actually just kill off the 12-6 pretty easily. Except now it might not. But then again, Dollar Mage never dies, apparently. So
Yeah.
it's not doing any work.
Okay, then.
Oh, wait, yeah. I actually didn't even look at the AO panel. This helps.
And everything helps. It's kind of the theme of Dr. Boom. A ragtag collection of random mechs turned into the best removal in the game.
And let's be honest, Language Hacker's being pushed right now because if he Rain of Frogs, that's a problem. He has double Bloodlust, a Totemic Might, and a Rockbiter weapon and a Dream, but who cares? Shudder Walk's getting played, and that is going to be the Elysiana replay.
Gets the Mossy Horror value.
Okay.
These Omega Defenders are going to go off now as well, proccing on his Shudder Walk. And there goes the full hand size. Your move, Killen.
Yep, correctly passes, and even though the Totemic Might, he could get out of his hand, but he doesn't care. Can we get a hover to see the Elysianas from the Shudder Walk battle cry, please?
I don't even want to know. Don't care. No, I'm kidding.
Okay, so there's the Venture Co, not bad.
Saranac Taskmaster.
Moonkin, kind of weird.
Okay.
The spell damage, not really needed, so nothing mind-blowing, I would say there.
Right.
Nice brawl outcome. And now, like...
Now Language just waits with a full hand.
But does he die before killing? If he just never plays anything? Well, not never plays anything, but... That Chevale's pretty good.
I'm sorry? He's going to be like, what, 14, 15 ticks ahead in fatigue by the time he gets there?
Maybe. I just don't know Killin's plan. When he skipped on the big turns that he could have gone in, I'm choosing to believe Killin has a plan.
Okay. Wait, Language has left space in his hand again.
Huh? This was Killin's plan all along. He's going in. He pretty much has to. So that's 2. That's
4.
4, and the swing is going to make 6.
Yep.
And again, Language Hacker on 23. He does have the space to draw the bombs, which means there is plenty of room to die. And here we go, the first draw. That's a good one.
5.
Count together. 5.
5.
Oof, okay.
Language Hacker, sir, please fill up your hand immediately.
He's like, pass then, just to be sure.
I mean, again, he can play minions.
Yeah,
They
I
replace
know.
themselves.
It's just funny that last turn there was a gap.
What did he play last turn that didn't replace itself?
Pass. Problem as well is he can't. Wait, he can't heal, right? He wants to keep his hand full because he doesn't have a double minion.
Double time and double.
There's a minion that creates 2.
Yeah.
I must decide.
Is that another gap?
I think so.
Is this a crack in the wall? Is he trying to bloodlust? Or he's trying to double lust,
Double
right?
bloodlust to
Trying
end
to
the
double
game.
lust. Did he need to?
It's a great question.
Count together, people.
There's another bomb going in. He generated this board into the 1-1 rush turn as well from the hero power. Which can clear this mess up.
And he still isn't
This would be a
dead
good
to
time
double
for a
bloodlust
little
next turn, right?
6, 12, 18, 24. Even if the board remains just like this, no, he's not.
Yeah. But what I mean
Which
is,
it won't.
if he kills the 1/4 at least, it summons another 1 attack minion, which
Yeah.
is the same except he took 1 damage, but you can take that anyway.
But there's still the room for the extra rush
kill the
bots
2
to get
Murlocs.
through
Yeah.
the Murlocs,
A
yeah.
good time for
I just mean worst case for some reason. You know,
Yeah.
Time to test.
I'm gonna drop the Shivala to make Language Hacker have to answer this in some respect because yes, it's not gonna keep killing alive for long. It also deals 7 damage. There's another 3. So Shivala now again just a threat in itself for any extra damage. Are the bombs gonna be drawn? Let's find out.
5.
One more.
5.
Wow. Okay. Again. This is tense. Frost Shock is going to be nice to slow down that Shivala.
Ancestral Spirit is going to be nice to create a wall of taunts that it's not going to ever get through.
And Ancestral Healing as well on something else, if he so desires. The Moonkin, I believe, has 8 health. So he can actually just be slightly out of range of Shivala in most circumstances. And now Killing's just playing the sitting and waiting game. All he has to do is decide where to aim a Shivala and when and how to aim a hero power if that is the correct one.
Right.
Okay, there's the Moonkin. Into a... Ooh.
I must decide.
Is he going to mutate this Moonkin?
Looks like
It's
it.
gonna mutate.
Goes to the 8 drop.
Oh, okay. 8/8 Death Rattle. Heal yourself for 8.
That is the nuts.
You can taunt that
in
up
this
as well
scenario.
to force some kind of trade at some point.
That trade's never going to happen.
Oh, it's never
though.
gonna happen.
Killing's just out of minions now.
Yeah. Armor up past Bud,
It's bombs or nothing.
and then it's Bloodlust or nothing.
Yeah.
Here we go again.
5.
Okay. Oh!
5.
Oh my. Oh my, oh my. Wait. Was double Bloodlust lethal?
The lightning bolt for the heal. Oh, never mind all that, Raven. He had 8, 9, 10, plus
Yeah.
6, plus 6.
Plus 6. You had 3 minions that could attack.
Uh-huh. Oh, sorry, plus 9, plus 9. So he had 28, plus that 9. No, he was
Plus-
2 off. He would have done 28
Wow.
damage to
Yeah,
that
yeah,
mount
yeah,
that
yeah,
you're
yeah,
looking
yeah,
at
yeah.
right now. And I think
Wow.
that is the final safety net now for Language Hacker. The overload on the previous
lost
turn,
them
he's
now.
only able to Bloodlust once, but it looks good with the Rockbiter weapon to finally push through and get over the line against killinallday. 14, 4, 4, and that final 5 coming the wrong way with 10 fatigue on Killin means a Language Hacker in a monster that just about broke my brain is going to take a 2-1 lead.